The second I sat down to edit the last Dave Chappelle update, we got 27 more, so we're going to put it all in this video. Hello everyone, I am Mecca. I am your favorite YouTube consumer advocate. I stream on Twitch, I stream on YouTube. We got a weekly panel show where I talked about this. It's not even a panel show, it's a topic show where we talk to the audience about all the panel, or topic, not panel. Oh. Hello everyone, I am Mecca, and we've got update after update. We talked a little bit about this last night on my new Mecca Monday Night Mecca Illuminati's Cool Corner. That's where all the cool kids hang out. I am your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber, and while anybody can go and see the main events and go and see the big bands on stage, I am where all the people hang out after the fact. That's why I need you guys to help spread the word and let people know. Only the coolest, most awesome people really want to stick around and hang out with us anyway. You want people to hang out with us? Let them know about our channel here. Dave Chappelle, first off, we talked a little bit about this one last night. We've got 5 articles to talk about, and there's some ranting coming, so stay tuned. Netflix strongly supports Dave Chappelle, and the CEO will not pull the controversial stand-up special. Of course they won't. And anybody who watched the special knows what he said in the special. They can be offended by it or not. They can be triggered by it or not. What is interesting, however, is there is a certain amount of backlash for this. A lot of people were saying, we are not offended. No, we are not offended. But we would like to list an entire listing of all of the people who have been removed from life early, prematurely, due to whatever reason may be, and we're going to blame Dave Chappelle, even though apparently he's a time traveler. Apparently he can go back in time and cause things to happen in the past, because clearly Wilson Cruz thinks so. Wilson Cruz from Star Trek Discovery, he played Ricky on My So-Called Life. Apparently he thinks that people can go back in time, and I'm gonna compare this, right, with the violence in video game debate, right? Because we've had a lot of bad things happen long before video games existed. We've had a lot of bad things happen long before Dave Chappelle opened his mouth and started telling jokes to try and ease the tension between us. But, you know, clearly Wilson Cruz, never been the brightest bulb up there. He really has some issues. He has some issues. He's getting into it with people on Twitter. He's apparently thinks that Dave Chappelle is a time traveler. Thinks Dave Chappelle can go back in time and created the game Smear that. Oh, I can't say that anyway. This is why I don't like the Q word either. I don't like that word either, because it just reminds me of that. And wow, if you've heard of that, you're going to probably go, you know, we got it pretty, but whatever. Netflix also had some employees who thought Dave Chappelle was a time traveler. They did not say they were offended by this. They just blamed him for incidents that happened in the past. Netflix has suspended this individual. Internally, trans employees and allies are asking executives a tough question about the line between commentary and hate. Well, he wasn't directing hatred towards anybody, and he was actually calling out a lot of the negativity and a lot of the combativeness and a lot of the, if you don't conform to what we think and say, you're not in the club. You're not part of the team. You don't get to identify as LGBTQ or any identifying label or letter of the alphabet. You don't get to use those if you don't think, and that's what I understood and interpreted it as, being, you know, the B in the alphabet and being, you know, just the lowest on the totem. I don't get a vote. I don't get a say, especially in transgendered issues. But then again, that's not going to stop me from speaking my mind. Netflix has suspended a trans employee who tweeted about Dave Chappelle's comedy. Well, if you read this thread, they go in and they basically list, which that's a perfectly valid thing to say, hey, we have a lot of bad things that happen in this community. That's not out of line. What would be, I think, more beneficial would be to like reach out to Dave Chappelle and say, hey, we need to find a common ground to where everybody understands and knows, but that's never going to happen because people are always going to hear what they want to hear. They're always going to interpret things the way they want to interpret it. But that's okay, because Netflix did suspend these people. They strongly support Dave Chappelle. And you know who else supports Chappelle? That's the new word, supporting Chappelle. Damon Wayans! Oh, wow, was he canceled? I always thought that one of the people from A Living Color were canceled. I'm not sure which one. Damon Wayans supports Dave Chappelle. He defends him. And Rip's critics as slaves to PC culture. Quote, that's a quote. Comic and actor Damon Wayans praised Dave Chappelle for exercise. God, Damon Wayans was so good. See, now I want to watch In Living Color. Now I'm thinking of the Men on Film skit.
Hated it.
Oh, he was good. In Living Color was one of those shows that if you watched it, you watched it. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's like Saturday Night Live, only good. Because even in the 90s, In Living Color was kind of knocking it out of the park. Even in Saturday Night Live's good era, you know, with the Will Ferrell. TMZ captured comments from Wayans at the LAX airport. Oh, don't bother him at the airport. He's probably tired. Monday morning when asked, where do you stand on this issue? How do you feel about the special and should it be canceled? Wayans responded, I feel like Dave freed the slave. Oh, wow. Comedians were slaves to PC culture. Wayans continued, as an artist, Chappelle's Van Gogh. He cuts off his ear and he's trying to tell it's okay. That's always the interpretation I kind of thought. I'm like, why do I care what some comedian says about, like, does it hurt my feelings if he says, oh, white people or women are this? No, because he's kind of right. I mean, I might tune him out and go listen to somebody a little more, you know, piss myself laughing sort of comedian like a Harlan Williams or somebody. But I'm not going to be upset and demand he be silenced. That's, I think, the biggest difference. You know, people, even with haters and stuff, I get a lot of hate videos about me. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I don't watch them. What am I going to do about it? What, like, really, why do I care? What does it matter to me? It only matters to me what you guys say. And like I said, we're in the cancel corner anyway. The TMZ reporter pushes Wayans further, asking if he felt he could be more himself now. He responds, I'm always being free. I think he's saying, with all that I have, I'm not afraid to lose it for the sake of freeness of speech. You can't edit yourself. When asked specifically about the LGBTQ plus community's response to the special, Wayans said, I can't speak about the content of the show. He then gestured more broadly to the topic of freedom of speech. There's a bigger conversation we need to have. Somebody needs to look us in the eye and go, you're no longer free in this country. You're no longer free to say what you want. You say what you want to say. Otherwise, we'll cancel you. That's the discussion we need to have. The closer currently holds the top. Yeah, they're not going to ban it because we're tired of this crap. We are tired of being told we can or can't think or say, or we have to go and comb through and scrub our entire internet history just in case we said something inappropriate, because everybody does. Every single one of us has said something cancelable. Yeah, you know, and you know you've done it. Or we'll say something that's going to be canceled in the future. I always predicted that in the future they're going to actually start canceling the transgendered community for gender appropriation. That'll be the next thing. And they're going to look at it like gender blackface or something stupid, because that's the world we live in. We live in a world where everybody is dumb. Nobody knows anything about anything. And myself included, I don't know shit about shit. But I do know one thing, and I don't want to be offended because some guy I will never meet in my life said something I don't care about. If I can clap back at somebody on the internet, that's a different circumstance. I am Mecca, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
2 snaps and wipe your mouth.